Welcome to The Real Connection with Minister Tyrone Bowie Jr. I'm the founder and coordinator of Pioneer Urban Arts. It's an organization I started here in Holyoke that allows people to take part of opportunities that are brought to myself. I bring opportunities to my community to help people thrive, and I'm hoping that I can bring opportunities to the people that are viewing this show. Today I'm going to be working with Mahar and Fredrick Seacrease. They are workshop coordinators for Stop Wasting Words, and I'm going to turn over the mics to them so you guys can meet them.
Thank you. Thank you, Ty. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Fredrick.
And we're very grateful to be here. We are, all three of us, passionate about community and conversations, because it's the way people communicate that actually builds community. And so Fred and I have been working together for quite a while, and we're very fortunate that Ty invited us to work with us to share some information about how communication works and how we can use our communication to improve community. So first thing I want to do is, Fred, if you could grab those handouts, please, and give them to our volunteers on the far right.
All right.
That's great.
There you are.
So these are our goals for the day. They're fairly straightforward, two of them. We want our volunteers to leave with an understanding of the values that are involved in good communication, because obviously good values lead to better communication. And the second thing is that we actually want to show some knowledge and skills that improve the effectiveness of communication, the success of communication, getting things done and building more cooperation with people. To dive into this, these are the sample values we have. Now this lists, I'm not going to read the whole list, but for example, a desire to improve, respect for life, appreciation for the talk that gets things done, as opposed to the talk that keeps on talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. So these are values. And I'm going to ask our volunteers and the other people up here with me, what are some other values that are part of good communication and good community? Good listener. Good listener. Very good.
Yep, active listening.
I'm sorry, say again?
Yeah, like as I said, active listening. Making sure that you give your attention to the individual you're listening to.
Giving attention, focus.
Being concerned with whether the person you're trying to communicate with is hearing what it is you're intending to say.
Being concerned about the other person. Yeah, that doesn't happen as often as I wish it would. Now, we could spend time on the dark side here, but bear that in mind. We want to emphasize the light side, how to bring value, and it helps to have a core of values in there. Now, I want to shift now to talk about some specific tools that people use, and I have a list on the screen here of tools that teachers use, carpenters use, painters use, city councils use. Each person, each profession has with it tools that other people may not be familiar with. And we're fortunate today that Ty is a mural painter. And I want to ask Ty to give some examples of tools that are important in his work.
So as a muralist, that I've learned, as a community muralist that is, I've learned that if you're trying to put up a piece of artwork that's relevant to the community, you have to include the community. Because if you don't, then you're not putting artwork that's up that's going to benefit the community, and they're not going to see value in it. So it's going to end up being defaced. So when you put together, when I put it together an activity that's going to ultimately lead to us putting up a community mural, it brings people in to do a brainstorming. What do they want to see on the wall? How do they want to be depicted on this wall? Who do they want to have depicted on this wall? If there's any people that, maybe they just want simple graphic line art that I've been doing recently a lot, because people just seem to like not understanding that it takes longer to do that. It is, like, I've worked as a community activist, so for me, seeing, like, why don't they ask us these questions, and then being able to be the person asking the questions, it's easier for me to be able to make those, that leap into that, to understanding and how to make sure that the people that I'm going to be representing via art have their word visually on the wall.
So one of the tools that you need is the communication skills to find out that stuff, to actually engage people so they feel like you care, and they actually volunteer things that are meaningful to them.
Yeah. Because even like I've told, sorry to cut you off, but I've told one person once, there's no small, like you can, no matter how dumb you think it is, throw it out there. because that makes the best murals. Because that idea that you didn't think was going to be worth it was now the center of the mural. And it was something that was worth sharing. So like, don't feel anything is not worth sharing.
When you approach the wall, even before then when you have to get your supplies, how does mural painting differ from house painting in terms of tools?
So you need more tools. so in house painting, you could be fine with probably a 3-inch brush and a 1-inch brush and one flat color that you're going to put on the wall and some painter's tape. When you're doing mural painting, you're going to want to use a higher quality painter's tape. I am, unlike other muralists, I mix all my own shades. So I can't go and buy a shade of color. I need to mix my own shade to use it. So I will go through and see what's needed for the paintings and kind of draw up what color wheel I'm going to need for that scenario. So for me, I feel like there's probably a lot of more tools that I'm putting in it than other people might put into it. But as an individual who, like if you wanted to paint a mural in your house by yourself, you would definitely need to get finer brushes, smaller brushes. You want to try to find a fan brush and the little 1.5 brushes and stuff like that.
Beautiful.
Because it's just having way more physical capabilities of being able to meet a fine line or a big line. Because you don't want to be trying to use a 3-inch brush to go down to a fine line. I mean, it's doable, but not recommended.
So when we learn how to do something, the more we know about it, the more things there are to learn about it.
Yeah.
And in that respect, we want to talk to you today about the specific tools that are used to improve communication, because they exist, and most people are unaware of them. And I have grouped them in terms of 4 clusters here: perception, pausing, paraphrasing, and monitoring grasping. I'll explain what those mean shortly. All right, so let me begin with some perception tools. How does perception work? So in terms of perception, I want to focus on these 4 sentences, these 4 parts. Is what I see, what I see. What am I looking at? What do I see? The second question is, can you help me see what you see? Because often we see different things. And instead of digging in and insisting what I see is the only thing to see, I need to be curious about what other people are seeing. Third is pausing and thinking, now that we're having this conversation, what do I want to accomplish? What's the end outcome going to be? It's not going to be I'm right and you're wrong. It's going to be how do we see things differently? So for me, an end outcome is often we both see what each other sees, and then we go from there. And the last one there is paraphrasing, which is rarely used and nearly always works to improve communication. So let me jump ahead now to a couple of examples. I'm going to start with a thing called the blind spot. Now I'm going to do this with you. Fredrick, could you please pass our volunteers one of the blind spot activities there? So we're looking at 2 dots on a sheet of paper. Perception, in my opinion, begins with learning how our eyes work. Now, our ears are important too, but we're trying to nail this down in an hour instead of like the whole day here. How do our eyes work? So I want to point out to you that we have an optic nerve in the corner of our eye that has no imaging cells on it. It's blind. We can see things because light hits the back of the eyeball on the retina, and there are cells called rods and cones, and they image the light. So I'll show you how this works. So I'm going to ask you to hold your left hand over your left eye. All right? And then with your right hand, and those with mics might have trouble doing this, with your right hand, extend your arm all the way. So profile-wise, this is what it looks like. Now I'm going to ask you to use your right eye only, because your hand is over your left eye, and look only at the left dot on the sheet of paper. And you can see the left dot quite clearly. And looking only at the left dot, you can also see the right dot in your peripheral vision. It's visible to you. It's within your scope. When hold the paper up with your hand over your left eye and gradually bring the paper towards your face, looking only at the left dot. And at some point, the right dot will disappear. And then as you continue to draw the paper to your face, it will reappear. Try and find that sweet spot where it disappears. All right? That's the blind spot our driver's eds taught us a long time ago. We always have a blind spot. Now, thank you very much. You now know that you have one. What's interesting about this is in grammar school and high school, where this exercise is done with audiences, they don't mention an interesting fact related to communication, which is that we don't see the black dot anymore. but we do see a full white sheet of paper. We don't see the whole, and yet it's a blind spot. Now, if we had an eye disease like macular degeneration, we would see a black spot. But we don't see a black spot. We see a continuous sheet of paper. So this means that a friend of mine who almost died pulled into an intersection. She looked left, saw no cars coming. She looked right, saw no cars coming, and she pulled out. And she was hit by a dump truck traveling at 20 miles per hour, according to the police report based on the skid marks. She, to this day, this accident happened 10 years ago, swears that dump truck has to be going 50 miles an hour because it wasn't there. So the thing to take away from this is that our brain, and I've had neurologists tell me that there's no better way of saying it, our brain loves us so much, it shows us a movie of what it thinks ought to be there to give us peace of mind. It doesn't want us to know that we can't see something. It fills in the space.
If I may.
Please.
In addition to the idea of filling in the gap based on what it thinks we want to see, I think there's also an element of filling in the gap based on what it has seen before.
Yes.
And it's an odd example in this case because obviously there's a real-world practicality to what is actually there, but even in that pragmatic moment, there's usually not a car there.
Right.
Would be the kind of argument that would come forward.
So it's not just imagining what's there, it's playing yesterday's movie.
Yesterday's movie, exactly. And you have to be very careful about that.
To look twice.
Yes, that's why we look twice. We're walking or driving.
But this is the same thing, just to take it a step forward, when we're dealing with communication in a sense. Well, that person has said that phrase, and that's what it always meant before, or that's how I've always felt when I've heard those words, or whatever the case, which may have nothing to do with this conversation. But that group of that memory of whatever the experience is having the same effect on me regardless of the current circumstances. And then we get hit by a dump truck.
So the same words that Fredrick may say to me may be words of affection, but if Ty says them, they become fighting words. This has nothing to do, this is my not tracking what's really going on. Mm-hmm. These are the movies that I'm playing from my past experience.
Yes.
So this, for me, is a critical starting place. The acknowledgement that I could be wrong about what I thought I saw is the first step in wanting to get along with what somebody else is saying. So curiosity is very powerful for this. Mm-hmm. Here's the next image. Fredrick, do you mind?
Absolutely.
Have you seen this before? Yes. All right, so maybe you can talk about it while Fred's bringing you the handouts.
At first glance, you might see a very old woman, kind of witchy looking in a black, some kind of sweater. But then if you carefully look, right, that would be her hair, and then her nose, and she has her mouth right there and a long chin. Right. And then if you look up higher by the feather, you can look at a different angle, and it looks like a young woman turned with her head to the back. You can see her eyelashes and her nose. And what was the old woman's eye is her ear to the younger woman. And the neckline, which was the nose of the older woman, is the neck jawline or whatever of the... Now, the thing around her neck could be considered like a necklace or some kind of...
Necklace or choker
or something.
Jewelry.
Yeah, and she's got some kind of flowing thing over her head. And she's also wearing the same garment.
Now, I can't in any way communicate the... You nailed it right. That's beautiful. The amazement of working in a room with, let's say, 100 people. And maybe 30 or 40 will see the younger woman, and the other group will see the other. And they'll fight over what it is. And they won't say, what do you see? And how do you see it? They'll just fight. It's not a healthy place to start a conversation. So I have a few more sight gags to show you to do the same experiment. This is known as the duck rabbit image. Yes, it is. I just wrote a paper, I published it within LinkedIn. And my interest is here, you're getting this real fast. There are people in the world who will say to you, it is a rabbit. And if you think anything other than that, there's something wrong with you. They actually go that far to deny what you see.
Right.
either because of anger or their upbringing, whatever it is. And that's kind of a disease for me. And so we're talking today about the science of communication. We're also preaching tolerance and curiosity.
I know a lot of people need to be here that aren't here that could definitely benefit from this. So I hope that we can get this out there.
We're making a tape, and we'd be happy to come back.
Yes, we need you.
Because we care about this stuff.
We need to bring an audience back for this.
Thank you very much. I appreciate those words. The next image, just to, again, get a little more practice.
Yeah, I love this one.
Now, I want to let our studio audience know that we did practice with this one before we started recording. I wanted them to know what they were walking into.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we saw the native. We see the Native American head, but then if you ask them, we're going into a dark cave. Like I think people of color have perception superpowers. I feel like we are built to see pretty much everybody's side because of the placing of where
You look
we've
harder.
been. Yeah, we look harder and we have no choice. It's just like we have to be part of mainstream and then we have to find our own way and then we unify based on what we see as well and what it makes us feel. So I feel like we're really good at this.
What we call color coding.
What do you call it?
Color coding.
Color coding.
Code switching.
Just a couple more images.
I love it.
You want to pass that one up?
Yes. My brother's a jazz man, so I already see.
Is he really?
Yeah, I see a dude playing the saxophone.
And the other image?
A beautiful woman looking. That's me singing with him.
Very good.
Now, what we've discovered with these exercises is for the first couple of images, people have to look hard to see the other image.
Right.
As we see more of these images, it gets easier to look for the second image.
I would definitely say with this image, I seen only the woman until you guys pointed out the guy playing the saxophone, and now that's all I see.
Now that's all you
He
see.
got a big nose and he's like, he's getting down.
So part of this perception stuff being a tool is as we practice it with any tool, we get better at it. Naturally, no work, no homework, no grading. The more we use stuff, the better we get at it.
Right.
I just noticed her eye is a bird.
Oops, I'm sorry.
Her eye is a bird.
Oh, right. Looks like a flying bird, yeah.
And that's part of it too. Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
What's up, right? I love that one.
Thank you, Fredrick.
Yeah. At first, you just see the face, and then you see the faces of the man and woman.
Yep, so there's a pattern here. I always show this one last because people who are comfortable looking for the other image will look until they see the vase and the two faces, and then they will stop looking for more.
Right.
And they won't notice the faces are different. And one is sketched out to be a typical male face, and the other a female voice. And so my message to you to close out this portion of our workshop today is don't stop looking.
Thank you. Right on. Who can, though, right?
Keep going. We can't afford to stop looking.
Right.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Good people will always be looking. That's
Always
that
looking.
lifelong learner stuff.
Absolutely. Thank you. So the next part here, we're going to practice
Sorry about
the
that.
last part there, awareness of grasping physically and verbally. That's the focus of the remaining of this program. And so the next slide is you're going to experiencing physical grasping. Now this is awkward. It's awkward. I'm going to set my remote control down here. I'm going to invite you both to come up here, please. While I do talk about grasping, somebody gives you instructions. You're a new employee on the job. You're giving somebody else instructions for how to take care of something. You've got a babysitter coming over, and you want to give instructions. How do we do that? How do we know that they've got it is the question. Most people are satisfied having said it. Most people speak to express themselves. There are formal week-long seminars people can take on how to express yourself more clearly, more articulately, how to find the best way to present. And we believe that that is BS. Expression without grasping is useless. Could you please pick any of the objects off of those chairs and pass it to V? Pass the object. Okay, very good. And pass it to me. And I will pass it to Fredrick. Take it off stage. Next object, please. Pass it. Now note, I'm going to not grab it yet. So you're not letting go, V. How come you're not letting
I
go?
don't want it to fall or have you bend over and get it.
Okay, so there'll be some damage.
Right.
All right. So at what point do you know that I have it?
Well, my eyes will see your hands kind of close around it, and I'll feel a little lightness on my end.
So you actually feel me lifting it.
Yeah, I actually can feel it.
So you can feel the pull.
Yep.
Quite literally. Okay, let's try another object. Now in this paperclip, I want to point out, please, that there are objects of no consequence that we just don't care that much about, in which case we are unconsciously passing them back and forth. But we are still checking for grasping. We do that naturally.
Right.
Now I'm going to raise the bar 2 levels and ask you to grab the inflated balloon, and we'll do the same thing. I notice that you first picked it up with 2 hands, not with 1. If it was an uninflated balloon, how would you pick that up?
1 hand.
1 hand. So you actually grab it in such a way, knowing you're passing it, is preparation. It's part of that same stage.
Correct.
Okay? And when you pass it to me, can you feel my fingers on it, but you know I haven't got it yet?
Yes, I can definitely feel
You're
it
actually
touching.
reaching for grasping. And, and we experimented there a little bit. Does he have it or not?
Right.
We're actually doing that. People don't do that in conversation. I want to show you how to do that. And the last thing I want to experiment with is that dumbbell over there. Pass that one slowly. I don't want anybody to hurt their foot. Now go slow. Slow down. Pay attention to this right now. So let go. So extend it to her so that she can get it. Is there a better way you could pass it so she have more surface area to hold on to? That's a good way. So what we do is we orient what we're passing to make it easier for the other person to grasp.
Understood.
From the get-go. And now you're reaching for it slowly. Now stop right here. Now I'm going to ask you, how do you know she's got it?
Well, I want to see her hands actually grasp it,
Yes?
and then I can feel the weight shifting.
You feel the weight shifting,
Yeah.
which you can't feel with the paperclip,
No,
but you can feel the weight
I can
shifting.
feel. Yeah, I can feel the weight shifting.
Now, do you feel inclined to test that with her, or are you just going to let go right away?
No, I'm gonna test it.
You're
I'm
gonna
gonna make
test
sure
it.
she has
Make sure she's got
it
it,
before
okay.
I let go.
There she's got it. Okay. Good. Okay.
I'm trying to help you get it.
Help you get it. Support it along the way,
Yeah.
especially if we're passing a baby.
Oh yeah.
Or a piece of furniture.
Yeah, anything.
Or a
delicate
knife. You
or
wanna-
something that can hurt you.
Absolutely. Now this time I'm going to play a trick on you here, but I don't want either one of us to drop it. Okay. I'm going to say I've got it and I don't have it.
Okay.
But just play along with me for a little bit. Okay. So pass it to me, please. Ask me if I've got it.
You got it?
Yeah, I think so. I can feel it in my hand.
Nah, I don't feel like you have it. It still has too much weight, man. Like, I feel like I got all the weight in my hands. Come on. Close that thumb, baby. Close that thumb. Oh, no, I'm on the bottom of it, though. Close that thumb.
So what happens is you will instinctively
Start helping
guide me.
Yeah.
To help me get it. Now I want to show you something.
that?
Would you please pass me that balloon for a second again one more time? I did this yesterday with somebody who wanted to know what I do. And I don't want you to take this, but I do want the video audience to see this. Okay? Now, don't take this from me.
I won't.
Just hold your hand sort of neutral position. Turn over. I don't want to be able to lay it in your hand.
Okay.
Okay. And so I said, now I'm going to, so they said, so give it to me. I held my hand like
Give
that.
it to me.
And this is what they did. Take it!
I'm trying to take it, but you ain't giving it to me.
They got angry that I wasn't grasping it.
Oh.
Instead of asking, do you really want it?
Right. Right.
Well, no, I don't. I don't like black. I like the green one instead. So when people
You're
want to give
enforcing-
something,
yeah, forcing it on
sometimes
you.
they choose force.
Right.
Which, if I may, if you would put your hand, V, back in that position. Now, take it. She's not taking it.
Right.
How do I not know that you're not paralyzed from the elbow down? You have no ability to take it, even if you did want it.
Man, you just pushing on me.
This happens all the
I
time.
know.
Where
Meeting room, hard of hearing.
Right.
Yelling at somebody for having to repeat myself.
Fair to say. Yeah, that's a good point.
So what we've discovered in our work is that grasping is physically natural. We care about each other. We don't want something to drop when we get hurt. But when we go airborne, it gets to be a little bit different. And so, Fredrick, could you please pass me my bag of balls over there? It's in
absolutely.
the yellow bag.
Yeah, it goes on, like I was saying before, and I use a ball analogy. If someone throws a ball at somebody so hard it plants in their chest, they know something hit them, they just don't know what hit them. It's the same like of a lot of people that get shot don't know they were shot and don't know what this whole, or how that whole caused, because they don't know what's happening.
So V, you were the
So it's affecting
receiver
them.
on that. I'm not going to ask you to be the giver.
Okay.
So if you guys can back about 5 feet apart, please. Okay. So I have a collection of different kinds of balls. They're all soft, nothing hard here. I'm gonna ask you to
You forgot the
toss
bowling
her
ball?
3 different balls, and Ty, if you can collect these after she catches them.
Yep.
One at a time.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, please notice she asked if she was ready. We don't do that when we delegate work to our employees. We just give it to them. And they may be doing something else. They may be worried about their kid at home. So asking if you're ready is a wonderful courtesy.
Love it. I'm ready.
All right.
Ooh, the world. Oh, are you? Ooh, thank you.
Okay. Now I'm going to tell you can sit out now because now I'm going to be the receiver.
Okay.
I'm going to ask Vee to throw me something, and I'm going to misbehave here a little bit because I like misbehaving. Okay, I think I can do that with
I'll
one
come be
hand.
your mic.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, I don't know if you're ready, so maybe you want to turn your hand like...
What did you observe?
I observed me throwing a ball, you saying you're ready. I threw it, and it hit you and hit the floor, so...
At that moment, were you proud of yourself? Were you happy? Or were you instantly crap?
I was a little concerned for you that you might not either see the ball or I could have hurt you, so I'm already a little concerned for you.
What's going on here? Okay.
Why weren't you able to catch it if you said you were ready?
The beauty of that, I do not want to just let it slip by. The beauty is that when we toss somebody something, we're putting something in the air, and we're noticing immediately if they don't have it.
Right.
Because we're looking at that. When we toss instructions, like, can you go get me half a gallon of ice cream for this afternoon? We don't look to see if it was caught. We usually turn around and walk away
Right.
before noticing if the words were caught. So we, for some strange reason, we don't check on words. Yeah, we need to care about them being on. Now,
Are we going to throw the weight at him?
But I did that to be a little bit funny. But here's the thing.
I thought you liked me.
Sometimes we have something very important that needs to be communicated. We have to be willing to take the time to assess whether the receiver, who maybe we can't move from this moment until they've got it, is simply not ready to receive it, no matter what they say. And if you toss it at him anyway, because you're ready to give it whether he's ready to receive it or not, some serious damage can be done. I'll share just briefly an example that I just learned of this yesterday with a colleague of mine who does lawn maintenance, and a neighbor's child ran in front of the street and was hit while he was mowing the lawn, and it did not end well. And he was tasked with going up to the door of the family and explaining this. Police officers have to do this all the time. We've seen it. There is a terrible burden with these kind of tasks of communication, but you cannot leave until they've grasped the weight of what this message is. And there's training they go through and all sorts of things, and some are probably more and less successful, but there's the light little ball, there's the balloon, and sometimes there's a full-on dumbbell that we have to deal with. And so, this is a great demonstration of that, but, to your point, Sean, how do you assess, not just are you ready to give, but are they capable of receiving,
Yes.
regardless
of what indications they may be giving off?
So my next step would be to handle you a little differently this time. So if we were to do this again,
Yes.
I'd probably walk over to you.
Get closer.
And then say, hey, buddy, take that from me for a second. Can you toss it to me for a second?
Right.
Just stay right there. I just want to see.
And work on the distance.
We'll work on that.
That's perfect.
Yeah, that's probably what I would
That's
do.
right.
I'm a teacher, so I have to
Oh, that's beautiful.
I have to do things like that with my kids anyway.
When we know the outcome,
Right.
we can find a way to get there without just blaming the person for
Right.
not listening.
Like, why didn't you catch that? What's wrong with you? Like,
Exactly.
You
Happens
told me
all
you
the
were
time.
ready.
People go there.
Look, now, now I'm going to just start hitting you. Can't catch. Look, everybody, come here, take a ball. He can't catch
What's
it.
wrong with you that you
Right.
can't catch?
And that's what kids do to kids. Like,
Yes.
and then they grow up to be grown-ups because their grown-ups are doing it to you know, the kids, the grown-ups are doing it to the kids, the grown-ups are doing it to the grown-ups, and now we got the kids doing it to the kids. Kids doing it even to teachers. Like, the world is definitely lost in the sauce when it comes to how to communicate effectively with one another to go to the higher level of where we're supposed to be reaching our own potentials, you know?
That's beautifully said. We've been laughing a bit here. I do want to go dark just for a little bit. And Fredrick, I appreciate that example. One of the companies that hired me to do this work is a risk management company in Oklahoma. According to their research, there are 450,000 deaths in the United States because of medical errors. Wow. Every year. And based on their research, 200,000 of those deaths in the United States come from poor discharge instructions when sending patients home. Because whether it be the nurse, the physician, whoever's there with that job just wants the patient's name on a piece of paper. And when they get that, it's good luck. Right. And 200,000 of those people are dying every year in this country because people do not know how to check for grasping. And perhaps worse, the value is they don't care about checking for grasping.
Yeah, our local medical sister is notorious from handing out discharge papers without even reading it to the people. So you get home and if you don't read through it, you won't know. There's some steps you have to do. And there's I found out I had a medical issue that they had not even brought up to my attention because I read through the paperwork.
Listen, I went to the hospital not that long ago, and the nurses told me they're short-staffed. And in their short staffing, they forgot to check my blood sugar, and I was there for high diabetes. And I ended up leaving with only getting water, saline put in my body, and they didn't even check my blood sugar. And I'm like, I'm here because I'm having a crisis with diabetes, and y'all forgot me. Then they left me with a urine cup and didn't even have me pee in the cup.
Yeah, good luck.
That's what I'm saying. So when you think about communication and being discharged or even put in, like you're brought into a situation, the communication still isn't, like the ambulance people were supposed to tell the doctors and the nurses what to do with me. I'm having medical issue. I'm not clear right now. So I need everybody around me to communicate my truth. And it didn't come across very, very nicely. So
I'm gonna pick up on that a second. I'm gonna ask you to throw 3 balls to me that I will let drop to make a point. Just toss me 3 balls, I'm gonna let them drop.
One at a time, sir, yes.
Right. And 2. One more drop. Very good. My point is to make more memorable the physical fact that when we toss somebody something, we care about grasping. When we put words into the air, we need to care about grasping. There's no reason to speak unless there's something to be caught. No reason at all.
Right on.
So any talking without paying attention to grasping is wasting words.
There's a book about that, isn't there, somewhere?
There is a matter.
We'll get back to that.
Thank you very, very much. Yes. Now I'm going to ask the 2 of you, please, you've been great as volunteers, to have a huddle and flip a coin to see which one of you wants to volunteer for the next part of this, which is actually when we toss words to each other, how do we see if grasping is occurring? So you guys figure out which one of you wants to play with us with that.
I want to take the time now to thank True Roots for coming out and volunteering for this. I appreciate you guys. The realness that you are.
I won.
Would you please have a seat over there right next to me? We're going to sit next to each other. Right here, right here.
Right here. There you go, love.
All right. Now, Ty and Fredrick, if either of you want to sit in, that's perfectly fine here. There's a series of situations on the back screen, but I like making some up as we go through these things. And I'm going to ask you, I'm going to set you up to fail, so please be patient with me.
I hate to fail.
I know that, but we'll fix that real quick.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you to give me or Fredrick or Ty a compliment right now.
Okay. You are very dapper. I love your look.
Okay, now hold on a second. So now, what was it that you said to him?
That he's very dapper.
And what was your purpose in speaking?
Because you said to give somebody a compliment.
And so what you did is what everybody in the world does. This is not an American problem. This is a problem with human beings.
I'm not American.
We
I'm just.
But you are a human being.
But I am a human
Oh, good.
being.
Okay, we were
I'm a
close.
human being, though.
We expressed ourselves and felt satisfied. The question is, what did you want to accomplish? What would catching look like? So I'm going to take what you said and do it for you and then ask you to do it again. Okay. Fredrick, I'm thinking to myself, all three of us tried to figure out, what are we going to wear today? What are we going to wear today? And you picked something very middle of the road. You're not wearing your cowboy hat today, okay? You're not wearing your boots, okay? You're not wearing a lot of things you could have worn. You picked clothes that I will call that blend in, okay? I told you what I was wearing, and you blended beautifully. So you knew what was at stake here, which is us meeting people and being with people. Not wearing a shirt and tie, not wearing a suit, not wearing a tuxedo, just being able to sit down with people. So I want to find some relatively normal clothes that look clean and decent, all right? And you matched perfectly to the description I gave. So now I know what I want to accomplish is I want to feel good about his choices. So Fred, you nailed it. I think that we can stand in front of a group and not look like we were trying to outdress each other. So thank you. You nailed it perfectly.
I did bring a jacket just in case, but thank you.
My objective was for him to feel good about the compliment and for him to engage in a little banter about it. That was the outcome I wanted. It wasn't just nice job and look away. It was to accomplish something. So I said this earlier, and you nodded, but it's really hard to accomplish. That everything I say should accomplish something for the other person. Okay, now I'm going to put this on you for a second. I'm going to compliment you, okay? First, without you, I'm thinking, she's here, she volunteered, she's on stage, she's on television, she's on studio lights, and she's cool. And she didn't know what I was going to ask her to pass. She's brave. So I want to let her know that I really appreciate how, I think it's courageous to come in with a bunch of strangers and do something like this. And that I'm proud of her. I want her to feel respected when I'm done with my compliment. Okay. So I'm not going to say, nice job. I'm not going to say, you did really well. I'm going to say, thank you for being here today. I appreciate the huddles in advance, the time, and the fact that you let me set you up for failure. You're a very patient, kind person, and I think courageous too. And I really appreciate those qualities, and I really thank you very much for how you're contributing today.
You're welcome. I appreciate you as well for being here. You taking your time to teach us some things that we probably should all know, but we don't.
It was never taught.
Thank you for that. Well, thank you for teaching us what you have learned. That's very nice. You're giving us education, and we appreciate it. I appreciate it.
A plus. A plus.
I really meant that.
Before I start blushing, A plus. I know you meant it, and you were saying it in a way that I could receive it.
Awesome.
And so that's the difference. You know, so these are situations where this stuff shows up. So if I'm interviewing for a job and you ask me a question, is it just to put a check on a check mark? Or do I really care about what your background is? Am I interested in how you acquired those skills? Does the care show up? And if I'm speaking with a mechanic to solve my problem, I'm going to say, so can you fix it or not? Or say, look, I know that the elbow is connected to the wrist, connected to the thigh bone. I know that it may not just be a spark plug. I know you're not, because I like going to the same people. So please be honest with me and tell me what you think is involved, so I can figure out how far I can go today. It becomes conversation, not throwing words at people. And just one more to return to product. You sold me a broken toaster. So that's like throwing the toaster in some poor customer service employee's face who just got the babysitter show up so she can get to work or whatever. Like, it's insane to be rude to people. So caring about grasping is caring about the other person as well.
Awesome. I love customer service, so yes.
And that's the whole thing. Now, I'm going to ask you if you can think of, let's pick another example.
Can I
Please
just insert a little thing? So I think part of what's intimidating for a lot of people when we start demonstrating some of this is as you gave an example of how you would approach a compliment, you took probably a good minute to speak out loud what you would have that internal dialogue of what
Yes.
do I want to accomplish. That can be intimidating for some who say, well, if I'm just, I can't think, you know.
Right.
And they say, well, I'll just say anything because I can't, you know. There
I'll
is
just throw
nothing, so just throw whatever's at the top of your head and then disasters can often strike. There is nothing wrong, and this is a formal term, but it can be used informally as well, in taking the pause. There's nothing wrong with maybe not 5 minutes of pause, but
Right.
of taking a moment and just checking in with your intention and your understanding of your audience before opening this thing that gets us into so much trouble.
Right.
Because your best of intentions can come sometimes with the worst of results if we don't take that moment. And it can just be a quick second. But it's better to take that second than to, you know, have days of conflict coming for lack of the time.
No doubt. Well, when he asked, it was like I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to not say anything.
You got it wrong.
Everybody.
You got it wrong.
You know what I mean? I know. But that was the pause.
So this pausing that you bring up, Fred, thank you for that. It's good to have a conversation with ourselves about where we want to go next before we just start talking. Because sometimes our spontaneity is attacked. And so just a little brief rehearsal of where I want this to go. Is this beautiful? It's really elegant. And pausing is often a good thing to do. And I'm still working on that myself. All right, so you've done stellar.
Thank you.
I want to invite you each to take one of those props off the table that you may want to have, or one of the balls that I brought as a souvenir. And I'm going to show one of our last slides here as we come up on the last slide.
I just wanted to add a scenario.
Please, Ty.
Which I know that you can because you're in theater. I did a dance theater program back in the day. And had I just went up to the girls after they did it and we had the successful that we did and just went, good job, and walked away, I think they would not understand what they did well. They would have just lost interest completely. I would have had no one come up the next year. They're like, he said we did good and we just didn't know why. But I found like when I was working with the youth, I complimented them every day they came in. I was like, I started off with 4 girls that refused to try. And I told them like, well, all I got to do is take 4 steps, bring it together, bring it back, and we put all the 4 steps together. And then just showing them how to do the 4 steps and letting them show each other it, opened them up to being more decisive. And like the whole presentation we did at the end, like I had a plan for it, I was gonna do it, but after seeing how much they grew, I let them write their own presentation. So they did something called the sleepover. They did it about welcoming new people into a community. It was really nice what they did. So like me taking the time to tell them how much I appreciate their growth, I feel is why we were able to succeed so far.
Beautiful story.
Absolutely.
The last slide is a video I'm going to show you because I have found that it helps people summarize all the things we've talked about today. The concept here is that the only way I can express myself better is if I pay attention to the receiver. The only way I can throw something better is I've noticed how they're catching. Are they right-handed, left-handed? I improve my ability to express myself by paying attention to the receiver. And most people don't do that. And this is what happens if we don't pay attention to the receiver. So it's only 30 seconds long. The receiver in this case is the glass, and I'm pouring water in it. When should I stop? Oops, she said when it's full, oops, too late.
I mean, you still accomplished something.
Yeah, let me get you on mic.
Wasted a lot.
Touched a full glass, but
So-
you wasted like a bunch of water.
What happened here is I didn't notice when the glass was full.
Paying attention.
And when I'm talking to somebody, whether it's after playing bowling or in the office, wherever it is, I need to notice when they're full of me because they're not going to tell me.
Right.
Sensory overload.
Yeah.
So when I'm teaching, and I came up with this activity with my guitar instructor, who was brilliant and thought because I knew a couple things that I was smart. What a mistake. So he kept trying to teach me more than I could hold. And so I made this video for him as a teacher.
That's what's up.
that his job is not to teach me, but to monitor my capacity for understanding what's going on
Understood.
and to stop when I'm full.
As a teacher, I'm sure that resonates.
It absolutely does. You can tell when you can approach a child. Like, I deal with behavior.
Yes.
And so when I get calls to come see a child, my first interaction, I know if I can talk or can't talk to the child.
Yeah, because you're monitoring.
I need them to receive whatever it is. And I want to hear them, so I usually come at them with, how can I help you? Or what is it that you need from me right now? Like, how can I assist you? What can I do for you to help this situation get better? So I just go to them first, and then...
So you've been practicing this stuff your whole life?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, now I'm happy to say there's some science behind it.
Absolutely.
You are doing
it's beautiful. No, and
absolutely
you need reminders, because life gets busy and we get caught up in our own, and these are the things that help us stay grounded and help us kind of work on being a better person for our community and our families and ourselves, you know.
One of the, if I may, dangerous pitfalls in this world of communication, which I will hazard to say is everything everywhere all at once.
The world is booby-trapped.
But everything is communication. Whether it's getting dressed in the morning, what am I trying to express today, to, you know, good morning. I have said good morning to my wife and received kisses. I have said good morning to my wife and received knives thrown at me, depending on, not literally, but I think she wanted
Gotta
to.
read the room.
But Sean has, and we've been working together for a time, and we've known each other a lifetime. And one of the things that has affected me most about this entire study is that I think, again, I'll hazard to say, most of what we've discussed, demonstrated, practiced here today is not profound rocket science. You know, which is part of the slippery slope, because in many ways it's perceptive if you're open to perceiving. But the problem is that because it is easily mistaken for being simple, almost everybody thinks they're good at it. Does not realize or care to realize that they have huge blind spots, that, and dare I say, we have huge blind spots. It's when you start to acknowledge and be willing and open to acknowledging that those blind spots are real, that then there's a position of receiving new information and starting to learn and recognize and pay attention and care, you know, to have that empathy. So like any other skill, it has to be practiced. And like any other skill that's practiced, we will trip, we will fall, we will make mistakes, we will be humans. But we have to, the analogy I shared with Sean, I was driving in the car the other day, and I thought, you know, we have to be okay accepting that we were raised by wolves. And of course, Sean being Sean, went to a level of nuance I wasn't really going for, and saying, yes, but wolves bite to teach, not to hurt. And that's absolutely true, which is also an important lesson. But we have all been trained by our, you know, those who raised us, those who taught us, those who may not have had these awarenesses. And in any good training, we then repeat what we have learned. And we have to unlearn what we have learned. And that is probably the hardest. I'm a music teacher as well, and trying to unlearn a bad habit is sometimes next to impossible, but not impossible, next to it. It just takes that much more effort. So
I want to say a few things and then ask Ty to bring us home when I'm done here. If you go back in your mind to that glass being filled with water, I want to milk that for all it's worth, because I loved having created that, because people show up as different sized glasses in different shapes. They don't hold the same. People show up with their lives half full with dirt. So they only have half available, even though the glass may look big. I don't know what's going on inside it. I don't know what kind of mess they had yesterday or today. I have no idea. And so monitoring the other person and seeing how well it goes is so critical to good communication and good community building. Otherwise, we breed conflict instead of collaboration. And we don't know what we don't know. And so being patient with ourselves and with each other is the only way to go. Patience and curiosity. And Ty, can you bring us home?
Yeah, I want to say I found in the last 4 years, there's one word that improves anyone's communication. And, well, I would say one phrase because it's 2 words. I appreciate. Because the moment you start using that, you can start saying it frivolously, but you start, like, do I appreciate it? And then you start using it more as you start seeing people do stuff for you, or you do something for somebody else and they tell you they appreciate you. And you'll find that down the road, 2 years later, you're no longer saying it frivolously. You're like, I truly appreciate you. And as you guys said, you were able to give the example of why that appreciation is there.
It grounds us in appreciation.
Yeah, so like leaning to whatever your powers may be and allowing them to have you understand the power of those 2 words allows you to go so much farther with having better communications with individuals, or at least showing gratitude to each other. And then you'll find once that gratitude is there, people are more willing to open up and talk about what they're experiencing or what their experience might be. Because as we said earlier, you might not know what someone's going through, and you can just assume what it is, but then you'll find out later, and then you feel bad about it. And then you're like, well, I shouldn't have did that, and now, but you can always correct that by apologizing later. But it's just a lot of people aren't like aware. Like, I'm a youth worker, you're a teacher, so you're a youth worker in that context, and all of us here have worked in teaching in some way or form. So we see on a regular basis when, I'm sure we all have had one student that well, how could I reach them better? I was like, I see that they're not grasping this concept. How can I reach them so that they can achieve their goal? And when we work towards accomplishing that goal versus punishing the person for the goal not being accomplished, then their goal gets accomplished and we all have a better outcome. So I again want to thank everybody for partaking in the Real Connection with Minister Tyrone Bowie Jr.
We appreciate you.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It wasn't intended to be this, but thank you.
The world will watch and see and hopefully learn something great, because we should do more things. We should come to school and do stuff.
Yep, and if any folks want to be part of the audience, feel free to stop by PUA413.com/The Real Connection. Or if you have a workshop you want to partake in or offer to the community, also stop by PUA413.com/The Real Connection, and you can get on there and talk to me about how you can be part of the show. I also have a radio show. That's PUA413.com/Spotlight. So if you just want to talk about your residency here in the 413, how your life started here, how you're doing stuff here in the community, or you just want to, or you have something you want to promote, come on in and stop by PUA413.com/Spotlight, and we'll be glad to have you on there as well. So thanks again to True Roots for being our volunteers today, and Sean and
Fredrick.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate everyone coming down, and thanks again.